everyone! Welcome to the Jayda and Stitches show, and thank you for dropping by the craft room. Earlier this week during our Monday live stream, there was some chatter in the live chat about Joann's craft and fabric store going bankrupt, and there was some question about whether or not the stores would stay open or they would close. And all week long, I've sort of seen comments, about it. Everybody's been kind of chattering about it. So I thought I would look into it a little bit further. And I found this article on CBS News. I thought we would read through it together and then maybe discuss it a little bit. Let's read. Fabric and crafts retailer Joann declared bankruptcy on Monday amid spending cutbacks from consumers and higher operating costs. The retail chain said it plans to keep its 800 plus stores open while it works through the restructuring process. So there's that. Hudson, Ohio-based Joann, which filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, reported between $1 billion and $10 billion in debt. In court documents filed Monday, the retailer blamed higher costs from shipping overseas products as well as waning consumer demand. As part of its bankruptcy, Joann said it had received about $132 million in new financing and expects to reduce its balance sheet's funded debt by about $505 million. Those are big numbers. The financing is a significant step forward. To help Joann continue operating its stores, Scott Sekela, Joann's chief financial officer, said in a statement. The filing marks the latest in a series of major retailers that have filed for bankruptcy in recent years, including GNC, JCPenney, and Party City. Brick and mortar retailers have struggled as Americans have increasingly shifted their spending to online rivals such as Amazon.com. Please comment down below. Do you buy most of your craft supplies online? Do you like to go to brick and mortar stores? Is it a balance of both? I'm curious. In Joann's case, the company was buoyed in the early days of the pandemic as the shutdown spurred some consumers to take up crafts and other projects. But during the past 2 years, Joann's sales have tumbled, with the company blaming consumer cutbacks due to inflation and other economic challenges. So everybody's back to work, or... this group hasn't lost interest in crocheting, but maybe that's the case. On the revenue side, sales slowed as COVID-19 policies were repealed or reduced, demand for fabric and mask-related products abated, hobbyists spent less time crafting indoors, and the federal government terminated pandemic-related stimulus programs, Joann said in court documents. At the same time, Joann was walloped by higher costs after China hiked tariffs on imports, an issue that occurred when the company was also spending a lot of money remodeling its stores. Rising ocean freight costs also inflated its inventory costs by more than $150 million between its 2021 to 2023 fiscal years, it added. All this business chatter. I kind of like it. While these conditions affected the retail sector broadly, Joann's heavy reliance on imported goods meant that these conditions caused and continue to cause outsized impacts on the company, Joann said in court documents. Joann has been headed towards bankruptcy for quite a while, analyst Neil Saunders of Global Data said in a statement Monday. Aside from its rising debt, Joann has struggled to turn a profit and has lost some of its customer base to rivals. Weakening store standards and declining customer service levels, partly because of staffing cuts, have made stores less desirable, he said, and a desire for lower prices has driven some shoppers to alternatives like Hobby Lobby. Again, please comment down below if you are in the lucky situation where you have access to multiple different craft stores. Where are the best deals? Do you find one chain tends to be a little more expensive or a little less expensive than another one? I'm curious. Here in Canada, we have one big craft chain retailer, and that's Michael's. We have other smaller little craft stores that we can get to, and then some department stores have little craft sections, but we don't have Joann's and we don't have Hobby Lobby. So I'm really curious about how price-wise those stores compare, and if you live in an area where you can easily get to all of them, what's it like? Let's just finish this. As part of the bankruptcy plan, Joann said it plans to convert back into a private company. The company went public in March 2021, so that was pretty short term on the stock market. The company, which was founded back in 1943, previously went private in 2011, when it was purchased by equity firm Leonard Green and Partners. Joann reported $2.2 billion in profit in 2023. Imagine making that kind of money and still going bankrupt. The company said as of Monday that it employs 18,210 people with roughly 16,500 working at store locations. Another 262 work at Joann's distribution center in Hudson. So that is a lot of people who must be very nervous right now. If you work for Joann's and you don't mind mentioning that. Please let us know in the comment section. Like, do you work in the stores? Are you worried about your job? Have you heard that your store is closing? Does everything seem okay? I'm going to guess that some stores are probably do better than others, and some stores probably have a pretty big business, a lot of people coming and going, and maybe others are just a little bit quieter, and I imagine that varies quite a bit from town to town. But what are you guys seeing on the ground? I'm curious. If you live near a Joann's, if you work at Joann's, if you know anybody who does, what have you heard? Are you worried about it coming, sort of closing down, or do you think this restructuring is going to be a good thing, maybe a bad thing? I would be curious to know. I hope that Joann's are still around by the time I get down to the US and maybe do a little bit of shopping. I haven't ever even been able to visit one yet. So there's that. But are they more expensive? Are they, could this be a good thing for the company? Is there a particular product that you like to get at Joann's that you're worried you might not have access to any longer? I'm curious. Let's have an interesting discussion about this in the comment section down below. And while you're at it, where do you like to go and get your craft supplies? And are you more of an online versus brick and mortar shopper? I think that really is something. We are heading into a time when access to stuff on the internet is almost easier in some places than it is in real life, especially if you're not the type to want to jump in the car. Maybe you can't just jump in the car and get out to a place, or maybe the places are kind of far away from you if you live sort of more remotely. So how do you collect your craft supplies? Are you an online or a brick and mortar kind of person? Let us know. Anyway, just a quick little jump into the news cycle. Not something we typically do here, but interesting nonetheless. It came up in the chat on Monday and we were curious about it. So according to CBS News, Joann's is going bankrupt. They're going to keep their stores open while they restructure, and they are leaving the stock market. They're going to become private again. So with any luck, it's not going anywhere. And hopefully all those people will not lose their jobs. That is probably the first and most important thing. Anyway, that's all from the craft room today. We will see you soon here on the Jayda and Stitches show. Until then, stay safe, stay crafty, and we'll see you soon. Bye, guys.